Forza Horizon 5 is one of the most detailed racing games ever made. However, there's this one AA racing game which actually has some better details. And today, I'll be going through a few of those things, so let's hit 4,000 likes on this video for, Oh, and also, this is not meant to be a Forza hate video, it's meant to be a TDU praise video. Hey, praise the TDU. And hello, it is I, and let's get into this video. Now, whenever you start up your car in Tesla Limited Solar Crown, yep, you hear a very nice ignition motor sound. And with my Alpine, yep, it has a slightly different startup sound. And that's because each car in this game has a separate ignition startup sound, which makes each car feel unique because when you start up the car, it sounds completely different to one another. But in Forza, basically every car has the same generic startup sound, and it's not very realistic because as soon as you hear that, the car just like it's just red lines. Like nobody does that when they start a car. You get what I mean? Like, who in their right mind does that when they start up a car? Like, what's wrong with you? Now, a very underrated detail in this game is the exhaust smoke. Because if I park my car here, look at the exhaust, oh my days, it's like it's smoking! And when I set off again, the exhaust smoke goes away, which is so realistic! But in Forza, well, exhaust smoke is not a thing whatsoever. But in the new Motorsport game, I do think they have rendered smoke into there, so you do see exhaust smoke, which is, well done Forza for that. But in Horizon 5, well, there's no exhaust smoke, but in Solar Crown there is, and that's why it's in this video, because Solar Crown has exhaust smoke, yeah! Now, one of my favourite things about Tesla Unlimited Solar Crown are the underground parking garages, because it's such a cool feature. And what's really cool is if you approach these arm barriers, they open up! Oh my days, I cannot get over that. I don't know any other video game, like, does GTA have it? I don't even think GTA has that. And again, look at that, that is oh, I broke it, sorry about that. But yep, the raising arm barriers are such a cool feature, but in Forza, well, I don't think Horizon 5 actually has arm barriers whatsoever. But I do know that in Horizon 4, we do actually have arm barriers for the train, for the railway crossing thing. But the thing is, they are permanently open, so I think like Forza never managed to work out how to add racing arm barriers into the game, but as you saw earlier, Tesla Unlimited does, so yeah, well done TDU Solar Crown, well done. Now in this game, as you can see, yep, the paddles actually move when you're shifting gears, which is really cool. And with manual cars like this Alfa Romeo Mito, oh my days, are you guys ready for this? Watch this, yeah? Yep, the gear actually moves. I mean, it doesn't move very realistically, it's like a sequential at the moment. But yeah, the gear shift actually moves, and I don't think any other video game apart from like TDU 2 has this feature. But in Forza Horizon 5, the flappy paddles don't move when you're changing gears, but they did used to move in Horizon 4. And the gear stick never moves when you're changing gears, it just stays stationary, like a character goes to touch it, but the stick itself doesn't actually move, which is very weird. So yep, Tesla Unlimited definitely has the more realistic shifting animations, it's so good in this game. Now in TDU Solar Crown, if you actually pull up to certain traffic cars, then you can actually hear them playing music. I mean, let me try and find one of those cars. What about this car? Yep, that's so cool! But in Forza, well, yeah, all the traffic cars just drive in silence, they ain't vibing, they just be chilling. They're not even chilling because they don't have music on and you can't chill without music. So yeah, this makes the traffic cars seem so dead in Forza, but in TDU they have atmosphere, they beep at you and they listen to music and I love it. So yep, TDU definitely has the more atmospheric traffic cars, I love it. They be vibing, mate, they be vibing. Now in TDU Solar Crown we of course have horns, which is amazing. Listen to that horn, it sounds very French. And on the Alfa Romeo Mito, how does the horn sound here? Very Italian, pizza spaghetti. But on a British car like this Jag, the horn sounds like Yep, very classy. So yep, what I'm trying to say is that each car has a unique horn to it, which really adds like character and personality to each car. But in Forza, well, we do have a variety of horns to choose from, but you have to manually select it. So yep, it's a tiny detail, but the fact that cars have their own individual horns is amazing in this game. Now in Forza Horizon 5, you can actually apply stickers to every part of your car, apart from one part. Now can you guess where that part is? Yep, you're right, it's the door mirrors. Yep, the door mirrors don't allow any stickers onto there, which is understandable because the door mirrors are a very complex part of the car, and I imagine that putting stickers on there would be pretty difficult. But in Test of a Limited Solar Crown, well, that's not the case, because if you want to put a livery onto your car, then you can actually select apply stickers, and look at that, mirrors is a separate option. And look at that, you can actually put like flags or whatever thing you want onto your mirror. And look, it like sort of wraps around. I mean, it does get a bit distorted, but it's such a cool feature. But in Forza, well, you don't have the ability to do that. So yeah, fair play to Test of Limited, fair play. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for a little while and tell me what you hear in 3, 2, 1 now. Yep, do you guys hear the wind? Because I can, and I love it. I mean, when most racing games focus on car sounds, they basically just focus on the engine sound and forget about everything else. But in TDU, not only do we have amazing car sounds, but we also have the sound of the tyre roar, and the wind, and the sound of you passing the other cars, and reverberating the sound of the other cars. But in Forza, of course, you cannot hear the wind whatsoever, which is unrealistic, because when you're driving a car, you're driving it against the wind, so you would hear the wind. And yeah, man, the sound of wind really adds to the sense of speed in this game, and yeah, a good sense of speed is good. It makes you feel like you're going fast. So yep, as you can hear, TDU has wind sounds and Forza does not, and that means TDU also has a better sense of speed. Now if you drive on the wrong side of the traffic, then look at this, okay? Yep, they beeping. But yep, how cool is that? The traffic cars literally beep at you, and this adds so much more atmosphere to the traffic cars. It actually feels like there's an actual person behind the wheel of these traffic cars. But in Forza Horizon 5, well, that's not the case. Because if you annoy a traffic car in Horizon 5, the most that they'll do is flash their headlights at you, and then they'll just carry on with their day, which is very weird. I mean, if you drove on the wrong side of the road in real life, then people will definitely not just flash their headlights and be like, oh well. So yep, Test of Unlimited definitely has the more atmospheric traffic cars. I love it. Now in Test of Limited Solar Crown, you can actually drive your car into the water. And it's very fun to do because I like the physics when your car goes into the water. Like it's floating. It's so cool. And again, yeah! But yeah, I love how your car sort of like floats when you drive into the water, because in Forza, well, your car goes into the water all like fine and everything, and then it just suddenly resets you. Like there's no visual representation of your car actually properly submerging. So fair play to Test of Limited, because I like this animation when your car goes into the water. It's so funny.